everyone, Steelhorse here. It's pretty early morning on in August here on Adelshoven. We're just on our way around to the shop. You might recall we finished a harvest contract with a nice bonus of wheat last time, but we were having trouble with the plowing contract, and so since then I've done a little bit of research and thinking, and I think there's two things we can do to improve the way we're going with that contract. The first involves us buying some kit that in the long term will be useful, so let's just grab that. And so if we come down here into dollies, it's called a Snufelstuck, and what it enables us to do is move the tow point for the plow back from the tractor. So it's just got a pin hitch on one end and then a whole bunch of different hitches on the back, so it's sort of like a multi-purpose tool. So we'll just leave it as a standard setup. We might change the color, but I think that will pretty much do us. So we'll buy one of those. Now, the other thing that we need while we're down here at the shop is our potatoes ready for harvesting. So to get those, we need to get some equipment to sort that out, and that is going to require us to lease a couple of things. So if we have a look at potato technology, now there's a couple of steps to the process. We certainly can't afford one of the big machines. Even the larger trailed machines are pretty expensive. But step one is to chop the tops off, which is you use a device like this. And then step two is to dig them up, and you use devices like these. And then step three is to pick them up, typically off the ground. Now, so something like this just drops them out to the left-hand side once it cloths them. What's this guy do? Oh, okay. Okie dokie. You do not require... Okay, so we don't need a cutter with this. This will do it all in one go. So rather than hiring 2 bits worth 20-odd thousand, we can hire 1 bit worth 16.5 and do it in one pass. So that sounds very much like our speed. There's no options. It's $800. I think we will make $800 worth of potatoes out of there pretty comfortably. So that's one piece. And then we need something to pick them up off the floor, and that's where this guy comes in, which conveniently you can trail a trailer off it. So we'll lease this guy as well for a couple of hundred. And then we need, our trailer won't connect to that, but if we grab just a cheap trailer like so, and we'll lease that for another 600. So we need to make 2,000 in potatoes in order to cover the costs of our equipment. And if we look at the potato price, oops, we look at the potato price, we'll see what they're at the moment. They're 200. Well, they vary between 130 and 200, so they're at the bottom, but 200,000 litres. So we'd need to make 10,000 litres to cover the cost of our equipment. I don't know if that'll be a challenge or not. It's all a bit of a learning experience. But anyway, we will grab this Snufelstuck because if we can get it working properly, the plough can run in the background for most of the day while we sort potatoes out. Let's bring this guy forward. Our equipment fractionally there. We might connect you on actually. We'll use you to pull the we can use you to tow the potato harvester back. There we go, hopefully, yes. Oops, I'm caught on the edge of the... There we go. So I'll see you back at the ranch. Well, actually, I'll see you when we've... What is that darn thing doing? Oh, I see it. Waves around in the breeze because there's nothing to lock it in place. Maybe we need to lower him down. That's better. So lower it down while we tow it. We'll see you back at the plough. I'll drop this off by the field and we'll go and get that plough sorted. Okay, here we are back at field 14. So we'll drop that off and move the ute out of the way. I mentioned there were two things we could do to help. So the Snufelstuck is one. As you'll see, I'll show you in just a second. So the problem with this plough is at the front here, this piece of large piece of steel holding the guide wheel gets caught on the towing vehicle, and there really needs to be a longer drawbar to keep the two separated. So another half a metre, foot to 2 feet would make all the difference in here. So what we're trying to do with the Snufelstuck is engineer that. So if we hook up our Snufelstuck, and we've got that lined up. A little tricky to position it. This will do the job. Get over there. You want it to turn, it doesn't. There we go. Should do it. So that's on there like so. The second thing we can do is, knowing that it's turning right is the problem, is create a much more sympathetic course in Courseplay. So if we have a look at Courseplay, we can see the course that we set up last time, and you'll remember we started trying to work in the center, but these end of these rows where it's doing tight turns and often in the wrong direction was what was causing all the problems. So if we create a job here and we open the course generator, we can go back in. Now, tool width, we decided 6 was pretty good. Instead of 3 headlands, if we're always turning to the right, always turning to the left, right? Turning right is a problem. So if we did a lot of headlands, and I'm sort of thinking about 12, and instead of going clockwise, where we would be turning to the right all the time, which is what we did before, if we went counterclockwise, then when we do our headlands, it's just really a big loop. and lots of good corners that will work with the vehicle combination. And then secondly, when it gets down to a small number of up and down sections in the center, if we suggest that perhaps it skips 4 rows, then it won't be trying to do that full U-turn at the end of the row. So let's just see what that does to the course. Just wait a second. There we go. So we're going to do far fewer up and downs. We could probably even go with a little bit more headlands, but this seems to be pretty good. So I'm going to stick with that. Where is the starting? Oh, I'm still starting in... Where? What are we doing here? Start work on the center. What if we start work on the headlands? And generate the course. Okay, so now it starts over behind me here. So we'll go and give that a whirl. So let's start the job and see how this goes. We don't want to do nearest waypoint. We want to go back to the first waypoint. So the other thing we've got to watch here, it's all folded up, so it should turn a lot better now folded. Where are you going to head for, or do you need us to help? We might put it in the right position, might save a lot of heartache. Which way are you trying to go? Should be in that direction there. Turn you around. And line you up on the course. First waypoint should be just in front of us. Might take a second to decide. Put the tool down. And away you go. And so I'm hoping that that's pretty close to the edge of the field there. And as you can see, when it turns right down here, we should be a lot better off. So that should run quite happily now for a while. So we'll let that keep going. Meanwhile, we'll head back and get the rest of the equipment. So we just need that trailer device and the trailer. We'll go and grab those. All being well, we should be able to tow it behind our ute here. And then we can put the tractor on the harvester and have a go at getting these potatoes up. I'll see you in a minute. Turns out I wasn't paying close enough attention. The ute can tow the trailer, but it can't tow this device because it has a universal on it, so power off take. So I needed to go and get the tractor anyway. But we'll hook all of this up and then we're ready to go when we get up to that stage. Get over there. Just a little fiddly to get hooked on. Come on. There we go. So we'll see how all of that works a bit later on. This is a little of a voyage of, a voyage of discovery. I've never done potatoes with a little machine. In fact, I've only ever done them with the very largest self-propelled machine. So this gear is all quite new to me. Now, one thing I'm also aware of, we've got two minor problems, which mean I'm going to do one small cheaty little thing, which hopefully doesn't bother too many of you. I'm going to turn off crop destruction. I normally play with it on. Because I'm pretty sure these tires are too big and will destroy the potato crop if we drive over, and it's a tiny field and destroying any crop will be an issue. But I also suspect, because the hill, like normally you're supposed to drive between the hills, which would allow me to minimize the problem, but the way this field has defaulted to plant, the hills don't run up and down a long edge, so I kind of figure even with the right tires it may still be a problem. So on this occasion I've decided that we've done enough and that we'll do it this way. So we'll lower our turn it on. Now it's, I've got to unfold it first, I think. Let's see here. Unfold. No, it's not clear to me. Turn on, unfold. Right, it is unfolded, and then we want to turn it on and lower it down. So now, when we drive onto the field with any luck, we'll lose the tops and we'll start to see the swath of potatoes. Let's try not to put the harvester through the wall of the greenhouse. Let's behave a little bit oddly. I suspect that's partly because the hills aren't really running in the right direction. But we've got no way of correcting that. We planted in this direction, but just the way that the game does or the map really does the field direction, we didn't get a choice. And that's given us some potatoes down there, so let's zip up the other side. In the top of the screen, contract completion continues to tick up, so I'm pretty confident that our plough is making a much better fist of things with the two adjustments that we made. We'll go and check on that a bit later, but in the meantime we're harvesting potatoes. We have no idea how many we'll get off here. I am picking the machine up at the end of each row. But we calculated before that we needed 2,000 litres to... 10,000 litres to cover our basic costs here. And so that means we need a little over a full trailer of potatoes. Come on, lovey. Out of the way. There you go. This shouldn't take too long by the looks, which is good. Based on our experience, we can potentially do potatoes in here again, or perhaps do a larger field. We need to do something with the potatoes. We can't afford the larger production that I was hoping for at this stage, but we can afford another of the Omatana. So pretty much like the one we have for oil. Let's try doing that properly. Pretty much like the one we have for oil is another one that does, I think, French fries and premium potatoes. So we might look at that. If for no other reason, then it beats buying a silo or a place to store the potatoes. So we'll see how that goes, what that would set us back, and potentially what the advantage of it is. We're getting what looks like a few potatoes. So that's good. This would be a lot better, I think, if we were able to have the hills running down the field in the correct pattern. I'm sure it would stop the harvester bouncing around the way it is. I'm not sure if we should plant back in this little tiny field, or if we should use it to expand our yard and just concentrate on the field that we're hoping to buy as soon as we finish the plowing. Well, I think, well, the idea is that by the end of today we'll be in a position to make that decision. But if anybody's got some input to that decision, feel free to leave a comment. I'm always interested to hear people's thoughts. Similarly, if there's aspects of this that you think that I'm doing wrong, there's every chance that you're correct. So feel free to enlighten me. I'm just happy that I'm generating potatoes. So quite a fan of a chip, I must say. Most Aussies know the best chips are sold at the fish and chip shop. Although there are some good chicken shops that do really nice chips. Our local roast chicken shop here is a particularly nice box of chips that sometimes is a mandatory Friday night, or part of Friday night dinner. I don't know what the origin of the word spud is. They've just been spuds since I was a kid. Always used to help Grandma peel the spuds for we were early enough for Sunday roast. That's that section there. Sit across here. couple of plants just there. Oh, a little bit untidy, but managed to get the job done. The other job we need to remember to do before the end of the day, I think the sheep are just about out of water, so we might get a couple of water runs happening while we're checking on the ploughing. Just have a look at the map and make sure our plough is still circulating. But yes, it looks like it is. It's looking a lot more ploughed than it did. So that's a good start. Let's see here. This might take a little bit of manoeuvring to pick everything up. I'm guessing we need to open the cover and then unfold you. And let's see. I might not be able to get close enough to get that row down the edge. I'm guessing they might need a front loader bucket or something. What's happening here? That's VB. Turns something on. How's that? We're getting potatoes. No, we need to lower you down. Well, that's promising. Of sorts. Why are you not picking up? Picked up for a second and then disappeared on me. What's going on here? Doing wrong. Conveyor is on. It's unfolded. Let's come back in more into the center where we don't have to worry about crashing into something. Now let's turn it off. That's up. So now down. Where's the conveyor not running? Very strange. It's got 500 litres of potatoes in it, but it's not emptying into the... trailer. when I put it on a worker, it did. Now if I okay, it's now working better. I don't know what was going on there. Just a little bit temperamental. Let's see if we can turn here successfully, but my first observation will be it looks like we're going to have enough potatoes. This is another well, this is not going to end well. Turning right is probably, maybe it'll behave. Turning right will work fine. So in terms of our first objective, which was 10,000 litres of potatoes, that simple run, once we finally got it working, suggests that we will be fine. So we're going to have more than 10,000 litres of potatoes quite comfortably. In fact, we're about to fill up our trailer, I think. So once you get it working, this little machine works quite nicely. Does a good job picking them up. Combination with the trailer is okay. We could be nice to have a bigger trailer, but I didn't want to spend any more money for such a small field. So that's probably just about full there, I'm guessing. The fact that it's not picking any more up. So what I think we'll do now, because we're going to have plenty, is let's have a look at this production. So somewhere down the end here, this was the one I wanted that makes a whole range of products, but it's $80,000 that we don't have at the moment. But coming down here, so we've got the white one, which is our oil production. That one's a bakery. That one's a dairy. That's fruit. So that's the one we've got. This one here is cereal. I thought there was one that did potatoes. Maybe I've missed it. Fruit. Dairy. Bakery. Potatoes. Here we go. So the question is, do we go with another white one? We probably do, I guess, because it kind of fits with the area. Now we know from before that the place to feed it's on the left-hand end. So I'm going to leave enough space. Maybe put it somewhere like this here, I think. So if we put that there, there we go. So now when we come across, we get in there to drop our potatoes off, or is this going to be awkward? Gee. Just a little bit too big, I suspect. Let's see. So you. Which side is this going to want to tip? We can overload potatoes there. That's right side tipping. Getting out may be problematic, but we'll see how we go with that in a minute. We might need to back it in. So if we go and have a look at our new production, potato production, French fries, premium potatoes, sugar we're not worried about, or pig food. So, but French fries and premium potatoes. We have some potatoes. 2,000 a month it will take. So if we go and look at the marketplace, what are French fries worth? Premium, they're different sort of premium potatoes. These premium potatoes, there's no sell point, so we'll have to solve for a sell point. Okay, we can worry about that afterwards. Okay, this is going to be problematic, isn't it? Or is it? What? That was not an ideal way to get out of there, but that tree is just not where I want it. Come on, come across there and be nice. Excellent. It was a bit more organised. So now, what did we learn last time? We needed to make sure we were lowered. Turn you on. It's not lowered again. It's better. I think it might want to be turned on before it's lowered. Just based on that, how that went. But anyway, we're filling up much better now. It looks like we'll get potentially 3 loads off here, so let's keep going. What I'm thinking, actually, is having sort of seen that sitting over there, I'm pretty sure that Omatana's pack includes a little sell point that'd fit nicely in there. Production sell points. This one, which is just a little farm stall. I think it goes that way. $500 we can probably afford to. So if we put it just sort of by the shaded by the tree, it's quite reasonable that we sell our own produce. And that gives us somewhere to hopefully sell our, yeah, there we go. We can sell our French fries and our potatoes. Don't have any history there, but that gives us a way to make everything work. It's coming along pretty well, I'd say. So I'll see you shortly when I've collected all the rest of these potatoes. I don't think it really lends itself to a time lapse because there's so much turning that and trees and things, the camera would jump all over the place. I might just to the chase, so to speak. So much good news since I last saw you. We're almost finished on the field, but I was miles wrong on the estimate. We'll see in a minute where we finished up, but we are easily going to be able to run the new production we bought for a year. So that's a terrific result. The improved price we'll get for the potatoes. First of all, there's so many of them, but the improved price will double our yield. So premium potatoes look like they're worth twice as much as regular potatoes, and because we got near enough, I think, to double what I expected, the overall return will go pretty close to buying us that bigger potato processing factory, which might be in the longer run incentive to put potatoes into a larger field, one where, particularly a long field where you're not spending so much time turning, and we can upgrade the equipment a little bit to make the collection process more efficient. But you know, as little plots and exercises go, this has been very interesting and quite rewarding. So let's just finish wrapping up the dregs here. And I must say, this little conveyor system with this Welker trailer works really well. If you haven't given it a go, I recommend it. It does the job just nicely. And when you think, you know, I only spent $2,000 to lease all the simple equipment that we needed here, and we spent a few hundred to buy the machine that seeded them in the first place. So this has been a very cheap operation with some good returns to get us going. Are we here? Almost got that. Come around this way. Get those two patches under the tree. You might notice in the contract HUD up the top too that our plow is doing substantially better today. So over half the field done now. So we can get this job finished, and we will do some water runs because making premium potatoes, I've learned, requires some water. But we'll have a look at all of that in a second. There's two little spots there, and don't want to upset anyone by leaving those for people to worry about on the field. That's probably a little tight for this combination. Let's go and turn the other way. But that will be our potato field all finished. So that's been really effective for us. Our money dropped because we used another hour on this tractor. And hopefully, once we get our field up and running, we might luck in and start to see some tractors emerge in the sale. We've been pretty unlucky in that respect. Not that we've had any cash to do anything with it, but there haven't been many second-hand tractors offered even. But we'll leave that there. We'll go and empty this trailer. I was worried there at one stage, given how many potatoes we were generating. I was hoping there was going to be enough space in the production. Luckily, Matana didn't let us down there. And clearly there's an enormous basement constructed in the potato production. Might be a little house, but the subfloor must be enormous. Right, so that's tipping in our last 3,000 litres. So if we come over here, you'll see we're up over 50,000 litres of potatoes off that little tiny field. So that's fabulous. And regular potatoes plus some water generates premium potatoes plus some pig food. So didn't have any plans for pig food. We can certainly sell that, or for getting pigs. Maybe we should think about it if we can produce the food. But 5 regular potatoes produces 4 premium potatoes. So we'll end up with over 40,000 premium potatoes. And if we look at their pricing, not sure what they're going to do over time. There's no history here. So, but if we're getting 500 odd for them versus the money for the 200 odd we said for regular potatoes, we're in great shape. So that's very promising. So let's get this trailer out of the way. We can ring the shop and tell them we've finished with all of their equipment. They can have it back. Let's get the water tanker. We might put that on the ute, I think. And we'll do a couple of trips to put some in the potato production, and then we might leave it. Oh, we also need to put some in the sheep, don't we? We might be able to get auto drive to do that while we run and look at plowing, how that's progressing. So that's the sheep topped off with food and water, so they're coming along nicely. Another 4 months for that lot to get to puberty. We're going to get some calves next month. Some lambs next month. And then another lot in 3 months. So these guys will start to pick up in terms of production shortly. But let's go over and have a look at this ploughing and see where it's up to. We're progressing much better here. I'm thinking that I might take over from Courseplay whilst there's still quite a lot to do. It makes no sense to pay for the worker when we need the cash, so I might just finish this off and we'll see you next time. See ya.